Hi everyone, Sajid Amit here, and this is going to be a very short impressions video of IEMs that I've recently acquired. And these are the legends, the Empire Ears, very legendary Legend Evo. Now, a quick TLDR, I'm in love with these IEMs, which is what's prompting me to do this very soon. You know how in audio, I've had a few moments, right? Like if I track my audio journey, few moments stand out. And these moments are moments that define the hobby for me. These are moments, these are aha moments, these are moments when I was wowed by a gear that I've heard. And I've had several, right? I can think of the Susvaras when I first acquired it. The Susvara, when I first bought it, I was like, my God, it sounds so natural. And I had a very humble topping A90 and D90 stack at that time. And even of the D90 and the 90, the Susvara sounded smooth, it sounded beautiful, it sounded just magical, right? Especially the mid-range. Another very sort of memorable aha moment for me was when I gathered the Holo Audio Medak over there. It was a wonderful moment for me. The timbre, and the first time, right? I was listening to this with the Susvaras, and I think I had the Past Labs amp at that time. But when I switched to this stack, I just recall how I was hearing reverb in the hall, in the auditorium, and multiple sort of echoes of the vocalists singing that I've never heard before. And that was a very memorable moment for me, and I just recall getting emotional at that time. So there have been several moments such as these, the Accuphase, and over there was another moment when I acquired it, and I think the Abyss AB1266 5TC when I first got it. The sheer viscerality, the slam, the grandiose openness, resolution, everything was just wow for me when I acquired it. So yeah, I mean, I've had several aha moments. I just want to say that another aha moment very recently was yesterday when I spent a good deal of time listening to these. These are the Empire Ears Legend Evos. They are an upgrade to the Legend X, which in itself was, a sort of a very famous IEM that has a cult following. And I don't know, I'm sort of speechless to describe this. I told myself I'm not going to analyze it. I'm just going to listen to it and enjoy it because I've just had a whale of a time. I was in a car full of friends last night and I was just listening to this and I was just so absorbed. And I was driving this from this Aslan Kern DAP. This is their newest DAP, the Ultima 2000T, which has a tube mode. And I've run both of the solid state and the tube mode of this wonderful DAP, which will get its own review. But yeah, I mean, so this comes in a traditional package that says Empire Legend Evo, as a matter of fact, with their logo and a very, the hockey puck case that you can carry this in. So accessories and tips and all that will get a separate video, I think, if I get around to it. But I had to share my excitement with you guys because being who I am, someone who's loved music since I was very, very young, someone who studied hard in school, listening to music while I was studying, writing papers in college. I have been around musicians growing up a lot. I've listened to a lot of live music, and I've always been around musicians jamming when I was a teenager and growing up. So I like to think that I know what instruments sound like, which makes me timbre picky. And the other thing that I think is very important for me is very good quality bass. Now, I think a lot of people sort of are very quick to sort of, segregate bass heads from non-bass heads. But I honestly think that very few instruments can recreate the viscerality, the very physical nature of good bass. And not just in terms of how you feel because of the quantity of bass, but also the nuance, the texture, the details. I mean, good bass is good bass, right? Like if you've heard a kick drum up close, or even a bass guitar and the nuances that come from the undertones and the sort of low frequencies that a bass guitar tokens. I mean, that stuff is very difficult to recreate. Even with a subwoofer, it's difficult to recreate with the headphone and obviously difficult to recreate with the IEMs. I just want to say that I've had some of the best, most realistic bass experiences with headphones like the Abyss AB1266 5TC. And now, with these guys. The Legend Evos take what the Legend X does well and dials it up to a 13. I mean, maybe it's the bone conduction driver at play. I'm not sure what exactly is happening here and I'll need more time to figure this out. But guys, the bass here is not just powerful. The entire presentation here is just amazing. And it's not just because of the bass, but let me talk about the bass first. The bass is so nuanced. It's so textured. It's rumbly. It's punchy. It's just... I'm just in love with the bass here, and I'm just in love with the mid-range here, and I'm just in love with the technicalities here, with the soundstage here, with the speed here, with the naturalism here. The mid-range, the vocals sound so clear and so lush and so wonderful. I mean, some people have pointed out that the mid-range here, they think the upper mid-range is a bit peaky for them. That has never been the case for me with these IEMs. I can be sensitive to peaky upper mid-ranges. For example, the Dunu Zen I did not like because I thought it was shouty, and I've said so in my videos. This is not the upper mid-range that strikes me as peaky at all. And, you know, just to disclaimer, this is the source I use. Like I said, the Acid & Kern 2000Ts. It's never been peaky for me. It's just right, and I do think you need the upper mid-range energy here to balance out the sub bass that it has. So you get a nice, clean, beautiful, and realistic mid-range with, as you know, typified by just some of the best vocals I've ever heard in any headphone or IEM. The treble is not bright. I haven't had any issues with the treble. I don't think it's rolled off either. I think there is a fair amount of treble sparkliness when the track calls for it. And technically, guys, I mean, it's just at a different level. I mean, you know, I talked up the U12Ts a little earlier, and honestly, like even my Theo Audio Monarch, which, and the U12T obviously bested the Theo Audio Monarch, but I mean, it wasn't by much. This is a different level, a different league. This is the Champions League of IEMs. The technicality here is just like, it's like listening to headphones. It's the closest experience I've had to listening to live music on an IEM. It's just grandiose. It's just wide. It's just detailed. It's layered. It's realistic. And my God, the bass. That's it. I mean, those are the right parting words, I think, for this quick impressions video. And, you know, in terms of accessories, I hope to cover it later. The cable, I like the cable. The shells are large. I just want to finish my review by talking a little bit about the ergonomics, but they fit me fine. So you might want to audition first, but I've had no problems with the fit. And I can be picky with the fit. I've had no issues with the cable. I love how it looks. This sort of blue and copper or rose gold sort of combination is quite nice, I think, to look at. Amazing, amazing IEMs. If you are looking for a bass head IEM which gives you great vocals and great technicalities, look no further, guys. You will not regret it. I'm available for more questions and comments and discussions. Feel free to message me. You know where to find me. And on that note, thank you for watching, and I'll see you again in my next video. Bye.